Our second season has begun in the Premier League. We're already on the 17th of September. The transfer window is closed and we are expected to finish bottom of the table. I think it's going to be another long and very difficult season. Let's take a look at players who have left the club first, and then we're going to do a full squad rundown of who I think is going to be in our first team for the season. In no particular order, Paul Searle has left the club. Not a lot of money, didn't really play last season. In fact, didn't play last season. £875,000. Quite a big and important name to leave is Theo Corbeanu, moving to Greece to sign for Olympiacos. £300,000. He just wasn't good enough for the Premier League. He's been superb, absolute superb servant for us throughout the Championship years, getting promoted. I think we found his level. It was the Championship, but he's moved on. Our number one goalkeeper from last season, Zvonimir Pedicic, has also left the club, dropping down to the Championship, and that means we have brought in a brand new goalkeeper. If you watched the January transfer window episode in last season, you might know who it is. Steven Geismar has also left the club for £6 million. By the way, Pedicic went for 5.5. Geismar going for 6. It's a good bit of money for a player who didn't really play for us in the Premier League. Elias Machuca, who has also left the club, signed at the summer last season. I wasn't too keen on him, and I think we've made a small profit. We've made a small loss. We bought him for 8.5. We've sold him for 7.75. He's going back to Argentina this time, signing for River. He's basically played for all the big clubs in Argentina. Everyone must hate him. And the final big-ish name to leave the club is Stefan Osmic. Was out on loan last season, playing for Blackburn. We sold him for £9 million to Millwall somehow. I don't know where Millwall in the Championship have got this money from, but there you go. That is not all of the transfers to go through, however. You can see there's plenty more names. Radmore leaving, Gonzalez, Kirknight, Pilbro, Marinoni, Matt Jackson and Kensdale also leaving the club. Emmanuel Chappie for £400,000. Yannick Yusufu going to Borussia Dortmund. That's an interesting one. And then you can see a whole load of loan deals as well. El Idrissi also going out on loan. So we've definitely brought in a brand new goalkeeper. And Anas Basri leaving, going to Monaco. That's a new name. Keith Wooten going to Legia. That could be an interesting move for him as well. He needs first team football. Hopefully going over to Poland is going to get him that football. So this is the squad. And it's not the biggest. And you can probably see in the middle there, Felix Patino, who is a new signing, doesn't have a work permit. He is registered. He will be getting a work permit, I hope, because he is arguably one of our best players. We're going to go through then. Lorenzo Pintia is our number one goalkeeper. He's worth 77 to 96 million pounds. We paid 3.9 million. He had a minimum fee release. He's conceded 11 in 4. Okay, ignore that. We've played some good teams and we've played badly in them. But Pintea is our number one keeper. Nemanja Kavic, or Savic maybe, is going to be our backup goalkeeper. Spent last season out on loan at Lorient. Season before that at Frankfurt. And then previously at Red Star. I think he's very good. He needed that first team football for 2 years to get him a work permit. He might kick up a fuss because he's not going to be a number one goalkeeper, but we should be able to convince him that he's a backup. Into the right back positions then, Adrian Barton signing on a permanent deal following a couple of seasons on loan. He is our number one right back. And his deputy is Mamadou Diallo, who I think needs game time, but he's not good enough to get game time also. He's versatile. That's probably a good thing. Over to the left-hand side, Jim Gregg is going to be our number one left back to begin with, but it will probably change. Connor Cameron is technically our number one left back. He's played the first 4 games of the season due to injuries and fitness and stuff, but Connor Cameron is a decent backup. Arguably, he's as good as Gregg. But Felix Patino, or Patino maybe, should be our number one left back, but as you can see, does not have a work permit currently. He's hopefully going to get one. I think he should be good enough to get one. He should tick enough boxes, basically, to get that work permit. We just need to wait about 80 days. 61 days. It is all change in defence. I'm doing this in no particular order apart from Bram Dijkstra because he is our only remaining centre-back. Everyone else has left or they're not good enough. They're being retrained. They've gone out on loan. Bram Dijkstra is our only remaining centre-back from last season because I think that's where our biggest problem was with defending, so hopefully we've improved it. I can guarantee you we haven't. We have signed Brett Lines from Stoke. We brought him in because he's English. I'm not expecting him to be playing a lot of football, but we brought him in because he's English. He's cost a lot of money. It was about £8 million. But I will keep saying this. We've brought him in because he's English. We kind of need some people to basically tick some boxes. Stefano Volpe is back. Yes, we did have him a couple of seasons ago down in the Championship, and he wasn't very good. We sold him. We've brought him back in. He's probably going to be getting a lot more football now. He's a bit better. In my opinion, I think he's a bit better. We brought him in for 3.1 million. We sold him for 6.25. So we've made a bit of a profit. He did just get relegated with Bologna. I mean, I hope that's not a sign of things to come. Next up is Angola midfielder Afonso Soma. Notice I said midfielder there because technically that's where he can play, although he's very good as a centre-back. So I think we're going to be playing him as this ball-playing defender. That's going to be his primary target when it comes to training. But like I said, we can use him in midfield as well. I think this man, Momcilo Babovic, is our best defender. And I'm not 100% convinced. Mentally and physically, he is there. He is very, very good. Technically, I think is what lets him down. Brought him in from Partizan. And if you've ever played Football Manager before, you know sign players from Partizan because they're normally quite good. He is 26 years old. Probably one of the oldest players in the squad. And finally, probably one of the youngest players in the squad, Mustafa Zouari is an Algerian centre-back signed from ES Setif in his native Algeria. Huge hopes for Zouari. So far, he's played a couple of games and we haven't done particularly well in those games, but I think we've got something very special here. The first of 6 midfielders is Duncan Elliott. We've obviously had him for a few seasons now, signed previously. I think we signed him from West Brom, but he was actually on loan at Hull, something like that. Yeah, we signed him from West Brom, free transfer. He's just an absolute bargain. What we paid for him and what we're getting out of him is superb quality. Robbie Finnegan is a similar situation, signed from Swansea. I think he was our record transfer, wasn't it, back in the Championship? Huge bit of money for Robbie Finnegan. But Finnegan, I think he's still very good. Technically, some of the numbers do let him down, but mentally, physically, he's pretty good. He's more of a rotation player, I think, nowadays. And also, Andrew Bean is still at the club, had a bit of interest in the summer. I think Southampton wanted him. They've just got promoted. I think they wanted to bring in a little bit more quality in midfield, and they looked towards Andrew Bean, but he is not going anywhere. He is probably our best central midfielder, I think. I mean, I want to keep Andrew Bean for a long time. We've also got Jang Dae-ho, who spent last season out on loan at VfL Bochum. We brought him in from our feeder club. He didn't get a work permit, sent him out on loan. He got a work permit almost immediately, but I couldn't recall him. I think he's very good. So far, he's played once off the bench and was appalling. I'm not sure whether a central midfield is his position. Maybe we look at possibly making him a striker or a winger. Do we do that? Do we train him to be a winger? We don't do that. That's a stupid idea. And now 2 new faces, and both of them have work permits, which is kind of unexpected. Daniel Villamea is a 22-year-old Paraguayan central midfielder and right midfielder. If we need to play that, he can play there as well. I think he's good. He's kind of the opposite to some of our previous players that we mentioned, where he's very good technically, mentally, not the best. He's not bad. He's certainly not bad, but he's not the best mentally. But he's only 22. Hopefully there's plenty of years in the tank for him to get a lot better at football. Also 2-footed. Not that that makes a difference. And the final central midfielder is an actual wonder kid, and I'm not quite sure why. He's good. He's certainly good. Dijakari Dija, I can never pronounce that name. DJ, we'll call him DJ. Coadio has signed from, I think, ASEC Mimosas, or might have been Ostend. It was Ostender, actually. He just left. And then, yeah, we spent probably too much money on him. But he is very, very good. Plenty of potential, hopefully, anyway. I'm not sure whether central midfield is his position. Maybe right back. He's 5'8", so he's certainly not a centre-back. He's very fast. Maybe a winger. He can't cross. I don't know what position is best for him. Tell me in the comments where you think we should play Coadio. On to the wingers then, and we've got a few new faces as well here. We've got Alan Roberts, 27-year-old Welshman signed from Ulsan in South Korea. He's still good, probably should play a bit more than he actually does. But Roberts, he's here, he's good, I like him. We have also completed the permanent transfer of Arna Brynjarsson, who was here on loan last season. Played 12 matches from his loan spell from Porto. There was a permanent deal in there, basically. I don't think he's going to get a huge amount of football, but he is an option, he's a backup. And that's probably a good thing because we don't have too many decent backup options. Dean Laird is one of those backup options and he is transfer listed. We're going to hopefully shift him on, but nobody wanted him at the moment. He is 28, he's in the prime years of his career apparently, and nobody wants to buy him. Maybe we'll loan him out. Darko is also still at the club. I've changed my mind on Darko. I've changed my mind because he played one game, the first game of the season, and was spectacular. And this is what he does. He plays one game, plays really well, and I go, you know what, you can stay here. You can stay here forever, and we'll build a statue out the front of the stadium. Darko is here for another 6 months. Let's say 6 months. He might be off in January. I guess that's 3 months. But yeah, Darko, decent right winger. And now he's hopefully got himself a Serbian friend for the opposite flank. It is Nenad Stulic. That's probably what his name is. 25 years old, signed from Partizan, because that's where you get your decent Serbians from. He has not cost a huge amount of money either. £4.1 million. He's played for, already got a goal to his name as well. Stulic, I think, could be very good for us. He's tiny. He's 5'5", though. That's not a problem, is it? Oh, by the way, I'm a complete idiot and forgot to show you Anas Basri, who is out on loan at Monaco, but he is ridiculous. We spent a lot of money on him and he didn't get a work permit, and I didn't realise. We're going to apply for a new one. We can't, fair enough. Also, this is being recorded on the 2nd of November in game because, yeah, I've only just realised I didn't tell you about him. Anyway, back to the video. And then 4 strikers to mention as well. Nguyen Van Hijn is rubbish. Nobody wants to buy him or loan him out, so yeah, he's still here. Emmanuel Santillan is also still here. He's very good, isn't he? He's just very good. 3.5-star current ability, 25-year-old Argentine. I mean, for some reason he played right back. I don't know when he played right back, but I certainly didn't do that. Santillan's still here. 20 goals in 50 appearances. Actually, is pretty good. Cesar Javier Moreno, our record transfer signing, is also still here. Striker, left winger. Probably this season's going to be more utilised as a striker because we have Stulic on that left wing now. But Moreno, he's good. He just needs to score a goal. He's literally not scored a league goal for us. He scored 1 goal and it was in the cup. And finally, last season's top goal scorer, Rory Allen, is still here. I mean, he's been here since the Championship, got released from Man United, and has had arguably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 very good seasons. I mean, even that one there, he only played 25, still managed to get 9 goals to his name, scored twice already so far this season in the Premier League. Rory Allen is probably our best footballer ever. I'd actually say ever. I think that is the entire squad. I think that's the entire squad mentioned. We've gone through everybody. We do obviously have some players still knocking about in the under-18s. Most of them aren't under 18 anymore. If we sort by age, we've got Nathan Martin, Velasquez, Youssef, Suazo, Arango, Yuji, Kamis, Sampaio, Sarmiento, Smaljevic. Smaljevic, I think, is a decent one. Yeah, Smaljevic, I paid money for him. I don't know why I didn't mention him before, but yeah, Smaljevic, he's good. I want to loan him out so he can get some game time, get a work permit maybe. Oh, and we also have a North Korean left winger, because of course we do. And in case you missed it at the end of last episode, we are in planning to get ourselves a brand new stadium, 24.5 or 24.25 thousand seater stadium. We are doubling our capacity pretty much. So it is going to hopefully be a big boy, assuming they can find somewhere to build it. Now that's out of the way, we started the season superbly well. I was so excited, I thought we were going to win the league. We beat Everton 5-1, Darko with 2, Santillan, Stulic and Rory Allen on the score sheet, and then we lose 3-0 against West Ham, 3-0 against Liverpool, 4-2 against Chelsea. Admittedly, Liverpool, Chelsea and West Ham are very, very good teams. They are very good for this league. I think last season, West Ham was second. Chelsea, West Ham, Arsenal, Liverpool. So you can understand why we lost those. But it does mean 4 games into the season, we're on 3 points. Burnley rooted to the bottom of the table, and we will be playing Burnley next in this episode. But it's probably just going to be 1 match in this episode, because if we did 2, we'd be playing Man City, and we'd be getting absolutely smashed by them. The starting lineup then for the Burnley game, we're at home for this one. It will be Pinte in goal, Barton, Zuari, Volpe and Greg in defence, Elliott and Bean, Darko and Stulic, Moreno and Allen. Santillan is probably going to be our 3rd choice striker, but because of how good he is, don't think he's going to like that too much. So our first game on camera for the season is also on TV as well, apparently. I'm not quite sure why. They're playing a 4-4-2. Did we play Burnley towards the end of last season on camera? Did we play it as the last game of the season? We may well have done. I should know this. I literally recorded it yesterday and I've already forgotten. 5.5 minutes on the clock. Burnley with the ball coming forward. Signorelli loses out to the Algerian Zouari. Moreno through ball finds Darko down the right-hand side. We should be winning this game. Let's be honest, we should be absolutely smashing Burnley. Barton's in on goal. It's fallen for Bean. It's almost managed to dink over the goalkeeper instead. Majeki holds on. We're getting a notification saying that Jim Gregg wants to come off because he's taken a knock. I don't want to bring him off because it's literally 10 minutes into the match. It is Signorelli with the ball. Plays it off to Pignett on the left-hand side. Lambert's there on the volley. Pintea can hold on to that one. Was that the highlight? Yes, it was. Another chance going Burnley's way. Lambert's headed effort underside of the bar. Collins is there. Collins' effort is awful. How did Collins miss that? It was easier to score. I think he might have actually been onside, or offside, sorry. It's Darko with the ball for us. That is lucky. I thought that was going to be another Burnley chance. Moreno going down the right-hand side to Darko. Back to Moreno. Back to Darko. Dinks it towards Stulic. Can't find him and Beans controlled it. Needs to get someone forward. And instead, Burnley have control of the ball. This is an issue. This is genuinely an issue because we don't seem to want to keep hold of the ball at the moment. Davidson across forward to Scott. He's got, I think, Bean on him. It's forward to Signorelli. Plays it backwards to Kamara. Left-hand side is Antonio with loads of space. Darko didn't stick a leg out. Lambert's there on the volley. That's a cracking finish. But I think he might have been offside. He was offside. I'm not sure how I knew he was offside. It just seemed like he might have been. Well, so far, Burnley have been the better side. Barton's not playing well. Is it Sidiclay Antonio on that left-hand side that's causing Barton some issues? Maybe that's what's going on. Scott with the ball for Burnley. Lambert to Davidson, back to Lambert. Across to Signorelli, forward to Antonio. Now Pignett on the left-hand side towards Antonio again. Barton's there with him. I mean, they are playing an inverted winger. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe that they're cutting inside, confusing the hell out of Barton, possibly. Lambert's headed effort easily saved by Pintea. Is it going to carry on? I think it might be, Goes for a run round his penalty area. The bearded goalkeeper. What are you going to do? Rolls it out to Zawari. Now Volpe, back to Zawari. Left-hand side is Jim Gregg, the former Bournemouth man. Volpe again. It's weird that I've signed Volpe again, but he was literally one of the better options of centre-backs that I could sign. Moreno to Darko. We are trying to pass our way through. Stulic is in on goal. Stulic goes for a dink, and Nenad Stulic gets his second goal of the season. We take the lead against the run of play, but that does not bother me. And after that, there were no more highlights, and it takes us straight to half-time. 1-0 up. You're doing well, but you're capable of better. Right, this is something that I don't do, and I probably should do. Right. Are you being man-marked, and can we say tight marking? Is that a good idea? You've got good pace and acceleration. Maybe tight marking isn't the. We'll do it. We'll do tight marking. Always tight mark him. And can we say who? Maybe, but I don't know how. Sure, whatever. Basically, my thoughts there is I think he's just running Adrian Barton around. So if we just say, Barton, just stay on him and don't lose him. Hopefully he never even gets the ball. As I say this, he's got the ball. And Lambert's in on goal. Pintea should have got that one. Pintea really should have got that one. Barton, I would have assumed, would have been marking him. He was nowhere near Antonio, was he? There's another highlight as well. Don't be another Burnley goal. Do not be another Burnley goal. Kamara in the centre circle, left-hand side. Where is this tight marking? Where is this tight mark? Who's doing it? Is there another player on the pitch who's just invisible? Kamara goes for goal, hits it over the bar. I mean, you need to come off, buddy, because you're not doing anything. Babovic, you're not really a right-back. If I'm honest, you're not a right-back, but maybe that's a good thing. I don't think I've ever really done this. Can I just say, right, how do we say man-mark? How is that a thing? I genuinely don't know how to do man-mark. Also, I feel like you should be a full-back on probably defend. That's going to be your job. How do we say man-mark? I don't know how we do it. I found it. Mark specific player, and it is Antonio. And do we say tackle harder? I feel like you're probably already going to do that, aren't you? No, tackle harder. Mark tighter. There we go. Marking tight is probably not the best plan because he's got a lot of pace. But I think Babovic has pace as well. It has taken me 13 seasons to try and do tactical changes. I'd like to point that out. It's taken me so long to do this. We need to do some other changes. Greg is playing poorly, so Cameron's coming on. We've got one more sub. It is going to be Moreno for Santalan. That is all we can do. Our strikers have done absolutely nothing. Our fullbacks have just been ran around like amateurs. And it looks like it might be a 1-1 draw, which is probably going to be Burnley's first points of the season. It will be if it stays 1-1. But there is time for something, game, please. Anything. 5 minutes of injury time. Nothing is happening at all. arguably, my tactics to man-mark Antonio might have worked. Babovic gets a 6.8. Alan gets a 6.1. Did you have lots of shots and was just awful? We had no clear-cut chances, so arguably we should have lost 2-0. So, 5 games in, 4 points on the board. It's not great. Admittedly, it's not great, but it could be worse. Bear in mind, as I mentioned earlier, West Ham, Liverpool and Chelsea all finished in the top 4 last season. We've now got Manchester City and Man United to play as well, which is not going to be particularly easy. And then I think we get some easier games. Maybe? I'm not even sure whether they're easy. Next episode, we are probably going to go towards some win in November. It might be Leeds and West Brom, or maybe Leeds and Spurs. Apparently, Spurs are rubbish. We might be playing Spurs. Thank you very much for watching episode 1 of our second season in the Premier League with Dover Athletic. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like. Hit the subscribe button as well if you are new to the channel. And yeah, how do you think we're going to do in this season? I'm not particularly confident. Thanks for watching.